All right, well then let's move on to rough-in then. What'd y'all find that you thought would be a challenge?
Well, we mainly looked at what was going to be a large departure from normal for builders and focused on ceiling penetrations between conditioned and unconditioned spaces.
Yeah.
So 11, for instance, and 22, both direct that.
And can you tell me what was 11?
Sure, all penetrations between conditioned and unconditioned spaces are air sealed.
Okay.
22 is installations installed to fill the cavity between conditioned and unconditioned space without gaps, voids, misalignments, or compression.
Okay.
Which brings up a good point, like fresh air, combustion air, drawing it into a concealed space like a fuel-fired hot water heater or something like that. You know, when you pull your fresh air and your combustion air in, do you not pull air into the house and then you start having to concern yourself with that concealed space, concealing it from the conditioned space? So it's not just the penetrations actually that go into the attic or from conditioned to unconditioned. You actually are introducing unconditioned space into those areas for combustion and fresh air and stuff like that. So it becomes a challenge. It really does. For your seal offs on your doors, do I need a self closer on that door on my concealed space? Because if I leave it open, I'm getting attic air. You know, I'm getting 0 degree air if it's 0 outside or in the attic.
Do y'all have anything else on the rough-in checklist that?
Brought up all HVAC components being sealed with mastic instead of spot seal.
Yes. Thank you for bringing that up. Mastic
I need some stock in the mastic company.
versus tape.
I think you'll see casting a lot more too.
All right, great. Thank you all for sharing.
Well, is mastic tape approved? If it is of a certain thickness, it is.
Yeah, we'll get into exactly what the requirement is.
Well, another thing is some of the framing requirements, you know, the California corners and all that.
Right.
You know, it's-
You get at a corner, you can't put insulation in that corner unless you build it different.
Right, and
Yeah.
a lot of framers.
That's gonna be a different
Yeah,
practice. They're gonna have to
yeah,
change
yeah.
their practice. Yeah.
So,
and
yeah,
insulation-
framing
insulation damage,
changes.
too, is another-
Right. Continuous insulation, definitely.
Can I go back one step to what we're, an example that I think that I see out there, let me say that. Say you got a bonus room upstairs, and you go up in that bonus room, and we're in the framing stage right now, and we've got, here come the insulators, and we've got that bonus room you're in the bonus room, you open the closet door, here's another room, that's the mechanical closet, good sized room, here come the insulators. Is that room gonna be inside or outside? And the architect didn't draw a big blue line.
So
around the
yeah, we
thermal
will.
envelope.
Yeah, we will definitely. I got an activity associated with that.
All right, good
so,
enough.
Yeah, yeah. Let's get into the specific changes now. We're going to talk about. But you know, we keep a lot of stuff in our garage that I know I don't want to breathe in, and I don't want my kids breathing in. So, and making sure that that they thought about it now. We see a lot of people using this sort of engineered joist system, which is not a problem, except for how do they seal all of that up? I mean, you can definitely do it, but it takes a lot more work. Yeah, so it's just things to think about. It's not necessarily, you know, perhaps cost, but the planning process and all of it. And y'all can help your builders by letting them know that this is something that they're going to have to do. Again, the whole phasing in idea, I think, works really well, where you tell them and then you tell them that they need to fix it, you know, down the road. Yeah. So the issue is well, there's two issues here. First of all, there's how they're going to seal this all up so that air doesn't leak into the house. The other thing is that they stopped.
What's on this side, the garage or what?
So yeah, so we're in the garage right now taking a picture looking into the conditioned space. The other thing is that they stopped. So they're like, they didn't, for some reason they stopped there. I'm not really sure why they stopped there. They're gonna have to come through and put more framing materials in. So it comes down to someone was not planning right, someone did not inform the framer correctly, or whoever was supervising the framer didn't tell them what they needed to do at that point. So this is one of those cases where if someone chose the option of doing a building envelope leakage test, decided to get the test done, this is a place where they may discover that they have some leakage at. But a bigger thing to note in all of this is actually the connection between the subfloor and the bottom plate of walls. And that's something that's specifically called out in the code that needs to be sealed now. And that is one place where you want to make sure that they're actually doing something. We see people using sill seal. So this is what I'm talking about. You got your wall down. A lot of times people roll out that blue sill seal. What's nice about that blue sill seal is that it's not only an air barrier, but it's also a moisture barrier as well. So when you're working with buildings on slabs, you can make sure that you're not getting moisture traveling up through potentially wet concrete into those walls. So that's why I like sill seal. But it could be caulk, it could be foam, it could be whatever they want to sort of seal it up in there. But that's a new code requirement and something that I would recommend that y'all look for out in the field. And then this is the other thing. They need to seal around windows and doors, and no insulation. Last thing you want to see. Okay. I'm going to go, because we're short on time, I'm going to go to HVAC now. The way that the code is set up, there's a glitch as far as whether manual J and S are required, but those need to be done to get to the manual D that is required. So if you ask for the manual D, just tell them, I want to make sure that it's in the box when I look for the plans in the box. That's a good start to all of this. And they take a lot of inputs. And as mentioned previously, you could look at that, the sort of printout, and figure out if they're doing pretty close to the right thing in about 5 minutes or so. But what I say at this point is that we just need to get HVAC contractors under the process of just doing it at this point and figuring out the software and making sure that they're all set, and then we can move on to the next stage. And we can talk about that, maybe a year or so down the line at this point.